Welcome back everyone. So today's video is one I've been genuinely excited to make for a while now, because it's one of those ideas that sound completely too obvious once you think about it, and yet actually pulling it off in practice is a completely different story. We're talking about using multiple nozzle sizes in a single print. Now, if you've never heard of that before, don't worry, I'm gonna break it all down, and if you already know what I'm talking about, stick around, because the results that I got are pretty interesting. We're going to go through the whole process, the idea, the setup, and the slicing headaches. And of course the actual results. Let's get into it. So, quick background. I own a DIY Toolchanger, the Cocoanix printer 0G+, and one of the biggest advantages of a Toolchanger over a regular multi-material setup is that each tool can be completely independent. Different materials, different temperatures, and yes, different nozzle sizes. Now, most people who want to use Toolchangers focus on multi-material printing, different colors or maybe flexible material alongside rigid. That's great, but today I want to focus on something that I think is underexplored. Using different nozzle diameters strategically within a single print. Here's the logic. Say you have a part that's mostly big, chunky geometry. You don't need a fine detail there. You just want a plastic laid down fast. But then you've got one section, maybe a text label, maybe a tight mechanical fit, maybe a delicate overhang. Something that genuinely needs a small nozzle to come out well. Right now most people just pick one nozzle and compromise. Either the whole print is slow because you're using small nozzle everywhere, or the whole print is coarse because you used a large nozzle to save time. But with a Toolchanger you don't have to compromise. You can use the right tool for the right job, literally. And the potential time savings are significant, especially for larger functional parts where 90% of the volume doesn't need detailed work. That's exactly what I wanted to test today. To test this properly, I designed a custom model specifically for this experiment. I needed something that would stress test each aspect of a multi-nozzle printing in a controlled way. The model has three main features. First is a fine text section. I wanted to push the small nozzle to its absolute limits. We're talking miniature text using 0.2mm nozzle. This is the kind of thing that's just not possible with a 0.4 or larger nozzle. Letters will come out blobby, strokes will merge together. With 0.2mm you will have a real shot at legible, sharp text at tiny scales. Second is a square geometry. One of the fun quirks of FDM printing is that round nozzles produce slightly rounded corners by default. I wanted to see just how sharp I could get a square edge with a 0.2mm nozzle. Could it look like it was injection molded, or would there still be visible rounding? Third, an overhang section. This one is more nuanced. Overhangs are always a challenge in FDM, and when you add multi-nozzle into the mix, there are some interesting wrinkles, how the slicer handles multi-diameter supports, and the wiping tower. That's the purge block that keeps the nozzle clean between two changes. Together, these three features give a pretty comprehensive picture of what multi-nozzle printing can and can't do right now. Today's video sponsor is PCBWay. If you build things, PCBWay is worth knowing about. They do PCB fabrication, CNC machining, 3D printing, and sheet metal all under one roof, with fast turnaround time and competitive pricing. And if you're new to this and not sure what to order, PCBWay has a shared project section where the community posts open source designs that you can order directly. It's a great way to get your first part made without needing to design anything from scratch. I've used them for my own projects and the quality was amazing. If you're a new user, you will also get a $5 discount on your first order. Make sure to check them out. Links in the description. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, let's talk about the slicer, because this is where things got a little complicated. My usual to-go is OrcaSlicer. I love it for most things, great UI, good defaults, lots of community profiles. But when I went to set up this multi-nozzle print in OrcaSlicer, I ran into problems. The multi-tool implementation in the current version is, to put it simply, hit or miss. Tool assignments didn't always stick, the tool change logic was inconsistent, and I wasn't confident the output G-code would actually be correct. So I switched to PrusaSlicer, and honestly it was the right call. PrusaSlicer has been deeply optimized for multi-tool and Toolchanger workflows. The options are more granular, the tool change logic is more reliable, and there are specific settings for things like tool change temperatures, wipe distances, and prime towers that I couldn't get right in OrcaSlicer. Now, it's not perfect, PrusaSlicer has its own quirks. Setting up profiles to match my specific machine took some trial and error, but once I had dialed it in, the sliced output looked exactly what I wanted. The fine text, the square geometry assigned to a 0.2mm nozzle, the rest of the model handled by a larger nozzle at faster speeds. To test everything, I also painted a section to print in 0.6mm nozzle, while the infill was printed at 0.8mm, and finally the 0.4mm nozzle is used for top and bottom layers. I sent the file to the printer, crossed my fingers, and hit print. Actually, really quick before I go further, only 1% of the people watching my videos are actually subscribed. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed and you're enjoying the content, just hit the subscribe button. It's free, it takes half a second, and it means YouTube actually shows you the next videos. Okay, back to it. Watching the print was actually really satisfying once I got past the slightly anxious first few tool changes. The machine handled the tool swaps cleanly, the wipe tower was doing its job, and you can clearly see the different behavior between two nozzle sizes. The large nozzle section went fast, thick lines covering ground quickly. And then when the slicer called for a tool change, everything paused, the head docked, picked up a fine tool, and suddenly you'll see this incredibly delicate, precise motion laying down those tiny details. The overall print went very well. There was a couple of rough edges, mostly at interfaces between the different tool changer regions, which I'll talk about in a second, but nothing catastrophic, nothing that will make the part unusable. Alright, let's look at the actual results because this is the part you've been waiting for. The fine text, it came out miniature and sharp. Genuinely impressive, the strokes are clean, the letter forms are readable even at very small sizes, and there is almost no bleeding between characters. This is exactly what you hope for from a 0.2mm nozzle, and it proves the concept works. You can integrate ultra fine text into a larger print without making the whole thing slow. The square, really sharp corners, noticeably sharper than you would get from a standard 0.4mm nozzle. There is still some slight radius if you look closely under good light, but it's minimal. For functional parts where crisp edges matters, snap fits, cosmetic surfaces, this is a real win. The overhang. This one surprised me the most. It came out great. Even without a dedicated multi-material bond surface, the overhang geometry held together very well. The supports printed cleanly and removed without much effort. I was honestly a little skeptical that multi-nozzle setup would handle overhangs gracefully, giving the added complexity, and it managed. Now, the rough edges I mentioned. Those are the seams where the slicer transitions between nozzle zones. It's not terrible, but for many applications, it's something to be aware of. For many applications, you wouldn't even notice it. But it's something to be aware of and something I'll be dialing in the future. Profile tuning and transition overlap settings in PrusaSlicer should help a lot there. So, what did I learn from this? Multi-nozzle printing with different diameters is genuinely useful and is not just a gimmick. For the kinds of parts I print, functional components that need some precision in specific areas and don't need it everywhere, this can meaningfully reduce print time without sacrificing the quality where it counts. That's going to do it for today. If you found this useful or just interesting, hitting the like button genuinely helps. And subscribing means you won't miss whatever comes next, because I have some good stuff planned. Drop a comment if you have questions about the setup, and also thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.